Another example which we used to actually take our students to look at when we went on field courses to Glasgow as part of national and regional spatial planning. You went to Liverpool last year, didn't you? A few years ago we used to go to Glasgow and Edinburgh, and one of the things we looked at was the Ravenscraig steelworks site just to the south of Glasgow, which closed in 1992 with the loss of over 2,000 jobs. And you can imagine that the urban regeneration organisations in that area are very keen to get that site redeveloped, to regenerate the area and to bring in investment into Ravenscraig. It's a very large site, 450 hectares, pockets of severe contamination. This was the site which I mentioned to you when we were talking about site appraisal, where they had to move the newts, the 4 or 5 greater crested newts, at a cost of about, what did we say, £200,000 was it, to move those newts. So heavy contamination over parts of the site, and what they did was, for the worst of it, they essentially put the heavy metal contamination, it was mercury and lead and so on, into heavy membrane bags, large heavy plastic bags, if you like. And rather than removing them somewhere else, remember that's very expensive, what they did was they piled them into a hill, into a large hill, covered it with topsoil, rather ironically called it Prospect Hill, and it's in use as an open space. So if we look at the master plan for this new town which they're proposing at Ravenscraig, you can see all sorts of different uses there: schools, housing, town centre, college and so on. You can guess that this is Prospect Hill here, and that is made up of several thousand large plastic bags, probably about the quarter of the size of this room, piled up with the most serious contaminants within it. And protected as open space. That will not be built on. That's become a landscape feature on the site, and was seen as a less expensive way of cleaning up that land rather than dig and dump or any other of those remediation techniques we looked at. So that's quite an innovative idea, isn't it? Keep it on site, bag it up, seal the bags so that they can't leak into the surrounding watercourses or the surrounding soil, and use it as a landscape feature. So you don't have the risk of building on top of it as you did at Bryn Mawr. Cost of that was round about £24 million to remediate that site. Again, heavy subsidy, because this is an area now of severe high unemployment and social deprivation. This investment they've been trying to regenerate this site since the mid-90s, and I think they've now started on some of these housing areas over here as the first phase of it. And of course, not the best timing for a major regeneration project in what's essentially a fairly low demand area. But that's an interesting example of a rather innovative approach to remediation.